What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Joey Garcia, and you are watching Countdown Scouting Network. Uh, I guess today we're going through the Wildcard weekend, just kind of giving my initial thoughts on the whole weekend, and we'll bring it down game by game and kind of break down what I saw, and then I think tomorrow we'll have a video breaking down my predictions for the divisional round. So that should be fun. So let's start out with the first game. Seattle Seahawks played the San Francisco 49ers on Saturday. Um, you could tell. I guess first initial thoughts were I thought this game was going to go about the way that it went. I just thought it was going to happen earlier. So I thought the first quarter, Brock Purdy was going to have butterflies and be nervous. He was. I thought the Seattle Seahawks were going to run the ball and Geno was going to look good. Defense was going to play pretty well. They did. So it all went well. But then it happened in the second quarter, too, and I was very surprised. I thought by then Brock Purdy would settle down and they'd kind of get their stuff rolling. But Seattle ended up taking a lead into halftime, which was a little bit of a surprise for me. But then that second half, you got to give it to Kyle Shanahan. In the second half, he calmed Brock Purdy down, and Brock Purdy started slinging it. So again, a seventh round pick at quarterback. It's phenomenal. I understand he's got weapons around him, and he's got a good offensive line and a really good coach that's scheming things up. And again, for a quarterback, it's important to have a really good head coach with them. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the second game from Saturday. But yeah, I'm very surprised that Seattle hung in as long as they hung in. But I'm not surprised that 49ers won by almost 20 points. They won by 18 points. I believe I think I did say that game was going to be a blowout, and it was. That team's for real. The 49ers are for real. I think it's probably them or the Eagles in the Super Bowl, depending on Jalen Hurts' status. So it's going to be exciting to watch them for the rest of the time. And then they've got a situation with, are they going to, keep Brock Purdy as the starter? Or are they going to switch to Trey Lance next year? I don't think so. I think they might sell Lance. I think Brock Purdy's the real deal. So good luck with them on the next round. The next game, this is the one that I was really excited for because I wanted to see if the Jaguars were legit. And I wanted to see, well, I didn't want to see, but I knew we would see Brandon Staley choke like he always does. And they should fire him. They should fire Brandon Staley, defensive coordinator with studs all over that defense. You've got a generational talent in Justin Herbert, who's 24 years old at quarterback. With all the traits that he has, you have to bring someone in that can sculpt him, like Doug Peterson has done with Trevor Lawrence. Everything that you think about with Justin Herbert and what you want them to do with Justin Herbert is being applied to Trevor Lawrence right now with Doug Peterson. And you can watch it as the season progressed. Last year, Trevor Lawrence looked bad. His interceptions were terrible. You could tell he didn't really know what he was looking at when he was reading the field. Again, I think there was an 8-game stretch last year where Trevor Lawrence did not throw a touchdown. And I think there was a 10-game stretch where he threw an interception. It was something crazy. And then this year, Doug Peterson gets in with him and starts fixing some of the little things that Urban Meyer broke, and also starts adding stuff to his repertoire, gets him more confident in this offense, gets him to be able to read defenses a lot better than he was before, as well as they have good weapons around him. Zay Jones is nice. Marvin Jones is okay. They got Christian Kirk, and I for one, crapped on the Christian Kirk thing. I thought it was hilarious how much money they give him. He looks good. He looks good, and it looks like it was exactly what Trevor Lawrence needed. And so, yeah, the Chargers go up 27-0. 27-0. Trevor Lawrence throws 4 picks in the first half. You can tell he's got nerves. And then the second half, they just turn it on him. When you score 3 points in the second half with a quarterback like Justin Herbert, there's a problem there. And I understand Brandon Staley is not an offensive coach. I know that. But he's got to be fired. This is multiple years that he's done this. Last year it was the calling timeouts, and next thing you know, you don't get into the playoffs because of it. And now you're in the playoffs in the first round of the playoffs. You're up 27-0. 27-0. And you end up losing 31-30. That's inexcusable. If I was them, which I know they're not going to, I guess they fired Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator, kind of threw it on him. But if I was them, I'm firing him today, and I'm talking to Sean Payton and saying, "Hey, Sean, don't you want to play with a toy like this? Look at this cool toy I've got for you, Justin Herbert. Don't you want to play with a toy like this? We can give you the whole offense and give you GM responsibilities too. Whatever it takes to get Sean Payton in the building, you get Sean Payton in the building." I don't know why the Spanoses are the way they are, but man, that's truly disappointing. With a team that had a lot of talent, that team had a lot of talent to go 10-7 and lose after being up 27-0. So we'll see what Jacksonville does, but Doug Peterson, phenomenal coaching job. All right, going into Sunday's games, the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills were up first, and this game I thought was going to be out of hand. I thought it was going to be a blowout. And it started looking that way in the first quarter, first couple drives. Buffalo's just driving down the field, bang, bang, bang. Miami can't get anything done on offense. Nothing. We just talked about how Brock Purdy, 7th round pick, doing really, really well. Miami Dolphins have Skylar Thompson, 7th round pick, actually picked, I think, 10 picks before Brock Purdy. He struggled. He did. He struggled a lot. But the defense and special teams was keeping Miami in it. They had a couple punt returns, brought them really close, got them in field position to kick a field goal, and the defense actually returned interception for a touchdown or a fumble for a touchdown, something like that. Defense was giving them good field position, giving them life, keeping them in it close. And just at the very end of the game, with Skylar Thompson in there, makes a couple key mistakes on top of Mike McDaniel just not getting plays in quickly. You would think you've got a rookie quarterback, a 7th round rookie quarterback. He's your 3rd string quarterback. Let's get him quick plays so he can get up to the line of scrimmage, do whatever fancy stuff you need to do, and let's get the ball moving. Had to call 4 timeouts, 4 of his 6 timeouts, because they were about to get delay of game penalties because he couldn't get the play in on time. And even in the fourth quarter, there was one where it was 3rd and 2, ran the ball, 4th and 1. Something happens where Buffalo Bills, I think it was Ed Oliver, laid on the ground for a little bit injured. So they reset the play clock, and then Miami still had to call a timeout because even after getting extra time, I think they got like 15 extra seconds, could not get the play in. And it's just inexcusable. I understand he's a first-year play caller. There's going to be bumps and bruises, and I hope that they evaluate themselves. They've got a lot to think about, especially with the Tua situation coming up, because they've got to decide on a 5th-year option and what they want to do with him long-term, because this team's built for the right now, and he hasn't played 12 games a year. This is his third season? Yeah, this is his 3rd season, and he hasn't played in more than 12 games in a season because he's just... I don't want to say anything because of, concussions. They can happen to anyone, and they're a serious matter, and I'm glad he didn't play in this game, actually, because that could have been bad if he did. But at the same time, it's always him. It's always him. You don't look on Sunday and all of a sudden Trevor Lawrence is laying on the ground injured. It's always Tua. Anytime someone's injured, it's always Tua. And that's not to knock the guy because I think he's a good guy, but they're going to have to figure out if he can be durable enough to play quarterback in this league or if they need to look a different direction. So that's going to be tough for them this offseason. They got a lot to look at, but that's the Dolphins game. So going on to the next one, and I told you it was going to be some late game heroics. I thought the Vikings would win this one. They did not. The Giants ended up winning. But it was weird. I told you this was going to be a weird game, a bunch of back and forth, a bunch of weirdness going on. I didn't watch all of this game, I'll be honest, but I kept up with the scores. Um, you thought that they were going to have kind of a Minneapolis miracle like they had a few years ago. And Kirk Cousins just checks it down for some reason. Um, there were memes made about it, so I got to look at some of those, and those are fun. This Giants team is not good. I have to keep saying that. I have to keep reminding myself. This Giants team is not good. Brian Dable should win Coach of the Year. I don't know if he will. There's a lot of coaches this year that kind of earn it, but Brian Dable has earned Coach of the Year with the way that he's taken this team that has he's given his running back Saquon Barkley life. This defense has a couple pieces on it, but this defense is not very good. And they play pretty freaking good. The quarterback, Danny Dimes, is playing well. He's kind of resurrecting his career. What are you going to do with him? Are you going to sign him to a... What if you gave him a 2-year, $40 million deal? And then figured out the quarterback situation later? I would look towards doing something like that. He doesn't have receivers on this team. I mean, you're playing with Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodges, and a couple other no-name guys. And they're making it work. They won a playoff game against the Vikings, who, yeah, the Vikings were a little bit fraudulent, I want to say. But they're not a team that's just gonna lay down. I don't know who they play the next round. I'm assuming it's the Eagles. But look to them to hang tough with the Eagles that are not 100% healthy right now. I like the Eagles. I think they can hang tough. They're one of those teams that just hangs tough. So very impressed with Brian Dable and that New York Giants team. I think the NFL's fun when the Giants and Jets are fun. So hope the Jets do better next year, and I hope this Giants team keeps it going into the offseason. That'll be fun. All right, going into Baltimore Ravens versus the Bengals. They've got the Baltimore Ravens. We knew Lamar wasn't going to play. They've got to figure something out with that Lamar situation, though. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. He keeps putting stuff on Instagram and on Twitter and liking cryptic tweets, and I think they're gonna have to trade him. I know I'm not talking about the game right now. I'm talking about the Ravens in general. This Bengals team did not look that good today. Wait, not today. It was Sunday. They didn't look that good Sunday. I think they have more they can do, but this offensive line is just so beat up. And again, it's the same as last year. Offensive line's so beat up. Can't get the run game going very much. And I think they're going to put a lot of it on Joe Burrow. And I'm not a big Zach Taylor guy. I don't believe in Zach Taylor, but I don't know if it's Joe Burrow that's the reason why Zach Taylor looks good, because a great quarterback can cover up a bad coach. And it kind of looks that way right now. I can't fully tell. I'm going to have to reevaluate this later on. But Bengals did enough to get it done against a bad Ravens team. They had Tyler Huntley playing that reaching over the goal line and just gets it stripped out. They 4th and 1, reaching over the goal line. Sam Hubbard strips the ball. It's crazy. It really was a crazy ending. I think this was a really good wildcard weekend. And then you go to Monday's game with the Dallas Cowboys. This would be the last thing we say. I thought, don't bet against Brady. But this team was awful. This game was awful. I don't know what Brady's going to do next. I don't know what the Bucs are going to do next. Are they in rebuild mode? I know Todd Bowles got fired, I believe, or maybe he didn't get fired, but OC Byron Leftwich got fired. What do you do if you're the Bucs? They did not look good. Offense looked pathetic. Defense couldn't really do anything. And then the Cowboys looked good, except for their kicker, Brett Maher, missing. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 extra points and field goals. I don't really. It's not really excusable, and I feel bad for him because I guess he missed an extra point last week. But yeah, the guy's got the yips, and I know he's thinking about it. But man, that's tough. Next week you're gonna play. Who do you play? The 49ers next week? I think they play the 49ers next week. You cannot miss extra points against the 49ers. Are they gonna have to go for 2? If I'm them, I'm legitimately thinking, am I gonna have to start scheming up 2-point conversion plays? Are we gonna have 4 or 5 of our best 2-point conversion plays ready to go next week? Because if not, that could legitimately be the downfall. If you can't trust a kicker in the playoffs, you might be doomed. So look forward to that next week. So that's it for today, guys. Tomorrow we will go over the divisional rounds. That's what our next thing is. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.